Hello, my biddies. How are you? I'm good, I guess. Forgot to close that door, dang it. I forgot to close the door behind me. Always forgetting something. I'm forgetting a lot lately. It's not good. It's not good. Probably because I'm tired. I don't know why I'm tired. Um, I started getting tired yesterday at 5 o'clock. I thought I needed a nap. So I'm not getting a lot done. Oh, I do have some news though. It turns out that Liz and Bryce from Seven Little Johnstons are pregnant again. They will be having a baby this fall. Less than a year after they got married. Of course, they already have the older kid. Um, she wants a little kid, a little person, baby. I hope it's average. A, for its sake, because little people have lots of health problems, lots and lots of health problems. And B, if this little kid turns out to be a little person, Amber's gonna throw Leighton like right out the window. Leighton will get no attention for anything forever. She'll have to fricking go live with Anna or something. And also they have to replace Anna with something, so why not have another baby? I wonder what they're gonna come up with next year for drama because they won't have Anna. They don't have Anna. They won't have Anna this year. And that's starting up again. So I really got to do this sister wives stuff, which I did not do yesterday, and I should have. I did the day before. I didn't get through a whole episode, so that kind of stank. But I have plenty of time the next couple days. I don't have to cook for anybody but myself. I got a bunch of frozen food, so it won't be that hard to cook for just myself. Um, yeah, my husband's out of town, uh, working on the kazoo house. Hopefully, this will be nearly the last time he has to go over there because they're painting, and they're not going to do anything with the floors. They're going to let the new homeowners decide what they want to do because the floors are really nice hardwood, but they're not in good shape. Um, they've been carpeted over for forever. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't been over there in a long time. He asked me if I wanted to go. I'm like, no, I do not want to go. Do not want to go. He took his computer. I don't think there's any internet over there anymore. So I don't know what he's thinking. He might have he might have okay access and and a hotspot availability to him. I don't know. He's got a company phone, so it's a little different than mine with the third party. I have a third party carrier. He has through his work, so it's a first party character. Car- First party carrier. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be one of those days. Can't think of anything else pertinent. Yeah, life is boring when when your husband's never home. So he didn't get home last night until 9 o'clock. He was, what did he say? He was performing uh, for a local historical society. I thought he was just yapping the whole time because that would be like him. He do like to talk about his job. We just got our taxes done. We got a new tax person because I kept asking questions to the old one and she kept ghosting me. So bye, Carrie. Uh, so the new tax guy is hooked up kind of with our financial advisor, so our financial people. So it's great. It's great. Uh, but he liked my name, which some of you may or may not know. But he liked my and he My husband told him what he did, and he's like, "Oh, I've heard of that before. I've never met anybody that did that before." So taxes are done though, and it's pretty early for us because usually we're just getting them in this time. But he was on it, and we didn't have we didn't have any trouble. I think because the financial stuff was all in one place for once. We didn't have to wait for stuff because usually we're waiting for paperwork from like Fidelity and stuff. But I think because all that stuff was hooked in together, he just got it off of our accounts. So it made it way easier. We didn't have to print out anything, look for stuff. Usually we're racing around the house trying to find stuff. The only thing we needed to provide was uh, house tax information, which he could have gotten off the internet too. Look that stuff up. And house taxes and oh, registration for the cars. Car registration. Car registration. So that's all we had to provide. Oh, and of course his work stuff. That's it. It was easy peasy. All right. I guess we'll get into it. First up, we have malicious compliance. We may have another different one. This is like two subreddits down from the top ones, but there wasn't enough on the top two to include this week. So maybe next week. uh, this is from malicious compliance, and it is entitled "I'm either in charge or I'm not." So I made it so I was both. It's a really long one for malicious compliance. This is long, but there's a lot of upfront information to provide some background for the job I used to hold. I worked for county psychiatric emergency services for 8 years, many, many years ago. The unit was connected to a hospital, so there were patients referred from the emergency department. But the primary role of the unit was to evaluate patients in their homes, other hospitals, or jails, and initiate civil commitment process if certain legal criteria were met. The unit was open 24 hours a day, running shifts from 8 to 3, 3 to 11, and 11 to 7. For the most part, at various times, it's 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and 11 to 7. I think I said 8, didn't I? For the most part, at various times, I worked in all three shifts, and I was very well known. For me, the best part of the job was going out to other facilities, and I was definitely in the minority on that part. Most of the staff wanted to see patients from our own emergency department. Typically, each staff would handle 1 to 2 cases per shift. If the patient was from our emergency department and could be admitted to our hospital's unit, then their staff might only have to, excuse me, just ate again. Haven't done this all day. I eat and starts the nasal process. I think it's the chewing. 2 hours of their 8-hour shift, and then they'd spend the rest of that time chatting, answering crisis calls, and largely trying to avoid being assigned another case. I mean, we are human. I like to be busy and to keep moving, and I found downtime on the crisis unit to be torture. I would routinely take on second cases just to try to stay active, and this routinely meant I was staying past my shift end, as I did not like handling cases from other staff member at the shift change because too often information got lost in the mix. The early morning was often dead quiet with referrals ramping up midday. I requested and was approved to work from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Seems like a reasonable accommodation. My new shift was embraced by the rest of the day shift, who predominantly did not want to take outreach cases. Cases were supposed to be assigned based on employee arrival, but within weeks I would walk into work to find staff that arrived at 7 a.m. sitting around while outreach case had sat for hours because they knew I would want to go out on a call right away. Now, this was true, and I didn't care about that much because I got to leave, but it gives you some idea of the attitudes of the other staff. Now comes the malicious compliance part. fake names are being used. Alan, the actual 3 to 11 shift supervisor, worked another full-time job and he did not arrive to the unit until around 5:30. That's a problem. That's a problem because a shift supervisor should be setting an example and coming in early and leaving late if need be. That meant that day shift supervisor Danielle would have to give shift report to another staff member who would then pass shift report to Alan. This was usually done the same way cases were assigned. First, 3 to 11 staff to arrive would receive the report so the interim supervisor would change day to day based on arrival. Over time, though, Danielle started giving me shift reports to pass on every day that I worked, despite 3 to 11 staff being present. Because of this consistency, a lot of people missed her, and I was called by other departments to weigh in on things, to sign off on a and to provide consults, none of which were part of my actual job. Actual supervisors received a small pay differential, which was largely meaningless, but I mention it here as an arguing point. I was treated very much as a supervisor when it was convenient, when difficult decisions had to be made, or when someone had to on the phone and argue a clinical decision with another facility. I was in charge according to the other staff. But if the case came in between 3 p.m. and 5:30 and I tried to sign it to a staff member, they would refuse to arrive to assign it because he was the real supervisor, which was fair because I wasn't. Alan would arrive and see cases that had been sitting since 3 p.m. and want to know why no one had started them. I'd shrug and explain my position, and he would sigh and start assigning work. Meanwhile, other facilities had been calling and asking for updates as to when someone from my unit would be arriving and complaining about the delays. This is a huge issue. Alan not getting in there in time, this guy taking on work that he should not be, he should be refusing it, actually. John, the unit director, got wind of these complaints and started to speak to me. I explained the situation, that I was not a supervisor in both title and pay rate, and the other staff knew that I did not have any authority to make them work. He told me that he did not have a job title or the funds to give me a supervisor role, which I knew. I told him I did not want to be interim supervisor every day or ever again, really. John's response was that my judgment was more trusted around our hospital and other facilities compared to many of the other staff, that he liked having someone with more training left in charge. The job required a master's degree and I was finishing my doctorate, and that I took the job very seriously. Shouldn't all of his employees be taking the job seriously? Yes, they should. Union, where I'm sure gave the impression that I had gone to John complaining that staff didn't not want to listen to me. He asked for everyone's attention and announced that I could assign cases to anyone I wanted. That was it. He could not put it in writing because I had no authority by title, and the reality of the situation was that staff who did not listen to me would be supported by human resources for that exact reason. Yeah, this is an issue. This is an issue I have actually personally had at a job. Coworkers should not be put in charge like that. Unless they have a actual position, this just causes issues between the coworkers because he's not really above them and he shouldn't be put in that position by John. Either Alan needs to come in on time or he needs to pay this guy to do this job and give him a promotion, or they do it the same way they've always done it. And that means that whichever shift person on that shift, not OP, on that shift is the person who's supposed to be the interim supervisor. Following today's cases come in, I asked staff to go. They declined, and we sat and waited for Alan to arrive. On day 3, a call came in just away from our facility in our county, a 40-minute drive one way. As soon as I announced the case, to the staff, I saw nothing but eye rolls and people going back to crossword puzzles or reading. Oh, that would be infuriating. That would be infuriating. I suggested one or two of the staff would be best suited to handle it. I got no response, not even no. John said I could assign anyone I wanted to a case, so I went to the logbook and assigned the case to myself, grabbed the keys to one of the unit vehicles, and left without saying a word. I would often walk around in the hospital so no one questioned me leaving the unit. I was almost at the facility when I got the first call on my cell phone from the unit. Chris, one of the people I did not supervise, had received a call from our inpatient unit asking for a consult. I told Chris that she should handle it, and I hung up. 20 minutes later, Danny, another not my supervisee, called and said that the inpatient psychiatrist called back asking when the consult would be done. I asked why Chris had not done it, and Danny replied that the shift had discussed it and felt that it would be better if I dealt with the psychiatrist. These people are just lazy. I replied that if the consult was urgent, one of them would have to do it because I would not be back for a long time. Danny says, "A long time, aren't you in the ER?" I replied, "I'm at Memorial Hospital. Ask Chris to do this consult," and I hung up. 15 minutes later, John, the unit director, calls me from his home since he lives at 3. I answer the phone and quickly tell him that I'll have to call him back as I am in a tense situation with the patient I'm seeing, and hang up. John calls the hospital unit where I'm seeing the patient and asks the staff to put me on the phone. He asks where I am, and I reply that he just called me at Memorial's inpatient unit. Okay, why am I there? Now that's the question I've been waiting for. You told everyone on unit that I could assign cases to anyone I wanted, so I assigned it to me. I told other staff take it, and no one wanted it. I could not make them. It was a priority case as the patient had assaulted 2 other patients and a nurse, and the assaultive patient needs to be moved to a higher level of care ASAP. A process that I was almost finished with before leaving the shift supervisor had even arrived to assign the case to someone. The point that John could not argue against. I was not going to sit around and wait while someone else might get hurt. I was not privy to what John said to the other staff afterwards, but I was told that he was livid, telling the staff that while I was not a supervisor in title, staff needed to view assignments for me as being backed directly by him, and refusals would be considered insubordination and grounds for suspension or termination. From that point on, the staff took the cases I assigned them. If I caught any attitude, I'd just hold the case up and ask you or me, and then they would grab it out of my hand and get to work. Super Radio says, my one main question, why on earth would a staff supervisor be allowed to show up 2.5 hours late every day for their shift? 100%. OP says, prearranged long before I started working there. He had to stay late to make up the shift. I used his flexed schedule as leverage to get mine changed to 10 to 6. And somebody says that makes sense, and it does. Shorting his manager. That was from Spleen Blender. Saul just says, actual MC and well written. I would have assumed wrongly that this type of position would have had an ironclad process of incoming calls. Yeah, true. Oh, we have evil buildings already because that's how we roll. This probably be top next time. Oops. This is the, I don't know. So Nepal, it looks like. That is wild. That looks like 2 buildings smushed together. Oh. Oops. Um, oh, here's another picture of it in its prime, as they say. Oh, that looks cool. This looks way better. That actually looks cool, not like 2 buildings smushed together. It kind of reminds me of somebody landed in their flying saucer and this built built housing on top of it. There's another picture. I think this is worth anything. Yeah. So what building is it? don't know. I don't know what building that is. Oh, it's a mill disassembly. Wrong John Silver says, "I thought it was a giant toilet disassembly." Definitely has a unique style. I'll agree with that one. All right. Next, we have AITAH. AITAH for replacing everything my wife loses when she organizes against my will. Did my husband write this? Oh, we don't replace everything though. My wife and I each have private rooms in our house. Nothing weird, no locks on the doors. They're just for our private areas. We also have areas of responsibility. She has the kitchen, I have the garage. That means that when I use the kitchen to cook and when I clean up, I return it to the order she has determined is best. When she uses the garage for some project, all tools get put back where they belong and she cleans up after herself. I mean, you should be cleaning up after yourself without having to have rules about it. That's just being an adult. Problem is that she is a neat freak. She cannot stand clutter. I, on the other hand, have no problem putting my purchases in my room to deal with later. It's either toys or computer parts, and I will leave them in the corner until I get to them. My personal mess does not pass the threshold of my door. My wife sees this as a personal insult. She will go into my area and organize, and then she will forget where she put my stuff. That's not cool. That is not cool at all. This is his personal area. You have your personal area, ma'am. Stay out of his. So I started replacing everything, whatever it is she loses. For example, I like to wear black Carhartt overalls when I'm working in the garage or riding my bicycle. So if I spot some on sale, I'll buy them and put them in the closet until I wear out the ones I'm currently using. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. She decided the coveralls don't belong folded in the closet. I finally wore the ass out of the ones I was using. I went to my closet and the spare set was missing. I asked her where they went, and she couldn't remember. She looked through all the closets in the laundry room and she couldn't find them. So I went and bought new ones out of our fund budget. Good for you. That's exactly what should happen. She lost them. There should be some kind of repercussion for her. Now she's upset because she eventually found the other pair with the Christmas gifts. She buys Christmas gifts all year long whenever she finds a good sale on something. She thinks I could have been more patient. Ma'am, he needed clothes to wear. Leave his stuff alone. I think she should stay out of my room, and he is 110% correct. Or at the very least, not take things out of the room, making a note of where she put without making a note of where she put them. She shouldn't be taking things out of the room at all. A little bit. Oh, no, no, I forgot. I messed up the top comment with the mod comment. Oops. Little bit funny says she just quoted. She decided that coveralls don't belong floated in the closet. What? Just what? Where did they go? Which is a question she obviously can't answer since she can't find them. Coveralls folded in a closet are not clutter. Your wife likely has the serious problems as coveralls folded in a closet that she doesn't use distressed her so much she needs to move them. I do wonder if this is some kind of OCD. This is not normal behavior. And little bit funny is completely correct. That is not normal behavior. PX says if it constantly leads to lost items, that's the opposite of organizing. Yeah, but it's not necessarily the opposite of decluttering. Token Trek says this used to happen with my mom. She would decide her rooms were messy as a kid. In reality, the rooms weren't messy. They just weren't organized the way she wanted them to be. So she'd randomly come in while we were at school and completely reorganize the room and lose other people's personal belongings in the process. It happened constantly for years. Rispasire is a theorist. What do you call it? A conspiracy theorist. Because she says, I'm probably reaching, but she probably thought OP forgot about them and decided they would be a good Christmas present since that's where she found them. It's Not a bad conspiracy theory. Another for the King Garden replied, "My thoughts, however, wondering whether she's lost things and or throwing things. Having OCD, I've been caught throwing away items slash furniture we actually need, but couldn't stand the thought of said particular item being somewhere because it didn't feel right there or anywhere anymore. I'm working on it." But I'm wondering, as OP mentioned, she hated clutter. No better way to declutter than to bin it. I hope they both find a way to work through OCD or otherwise. Zombie Zookeeper says, reminds me of the firefighter who kept his shoes unlaced for fast response, and his wife kept lacing them up because they looked untidy. Oh, there's actually a Best of Redder update for that. My bad, EMT, not firefighter. A lot of firefighters are EMT, so we'll forgive that one. It's not that big a deal. Please don't perceive me. Answered, didn't the wife end up having OCD she wasn't treating or something like that? Like she just could not understand why he needed to leave his wanging boots alone and he had to get his boss involved. Oh my. Uh, huh. I don't want to read it because I know it's going to be really long. And I do want to read it because it's going to be very interesting. And I don't know what to do. Um, I'm going to add it to a Boru thing I have, I think. I'm going to add it to the Boru in case there's one that ever gets deleted. We will have it. Where am I going? What am I doing? What am I doing, guys? I don't know. I'm a lost. Okay. All right. I added it somewhere. Maybe we'll get to it sometime. My husband's going to be out in town in June. Maybe we'll read it then. We'll do our regular show and then I can do another show if I have all my crap together, which I should by then. um, this the same one? I did the same one. Yeah, okay, it's the same one. Alrighty. See, this is what I mean by you need to send me your special stuff. If you come across one in the wild, let me know. If you have one yourself, let me know. All right, next we have Neighbors from Hell. It is entitled, We Tried to Solve the Nice Way. Enjoy your tickets. Okay. It's flared homeowner neighbor from hell. So I wonder if this is backfiring. We have neighbors who adopted a cat that previous neighbors abandoned. It was a nice gesture. However, over the last few years, we've gradually increased, they've gradually increased the cat's ability to roam. I get the feeling that he only goes home to eat now. He probably has a few families. Cats are known for that. We have a few outdoor cameras and we see him frequently in our yard. We were okay with the roaming. We were not super cool with him harassing the birds. Not cool with him using our flower bed as a litter box, but we initially said nothing. Well, that was your first mistake. If it's bothering you, you should say something. Last spring we spent a lot of money on patio furniture. For winter, the furniture is covered and gathered underneath the gazebo. Unfortunately, the cat has decided that the furniture is his. He's spraying on the furniture covers. We have multiple videos of him doing it. One instance was a full-on pee. Huge puddle on the cover and the concrete. The concrete is new, so I had to go out and clean it up. Half-frozen cat pee after work. Not pleased. After inspecting the colors, it was evident he was marking a lot. I am, no pun intended, pissed. 2 weeks ago, my husband went over to their house to inform them of the situation. The wife was fake apologetic and said she'd keep the cat inside. Her dumbass brother wanted to argue saying that there had to be some other solution. I don't know. Hand me $3,000 every time your cat ruins our patio furniture. Should have known that then that this was going to actually happen. We were right. The cat is still roaming and peeing on the furniture. We were on vacation last week and I went over our camera footage of our time away and I realized this isn't going to stop, and come spring the furniture will be uncovered and the cushions will be back. I'll be damned if I'm going to deal with that. So I called animal control today. An officer came out and spoke with me. I filled out a full complaint statement and provided about half a dozen videos of the cat peeing on the furniture, plus pictures of the urine marks on the covers. They told me that this is more than enough evidence to start issuing tickets. Oh, I don't think the cat is registered either. They said that it would be another fine. The officer was going to pay them a visit after he left our house as well. I'm half expecting one of them to show up at our door soon. All of this because you can't keep your dang cat inside before anyone comes at me. I love animals. I have two cats of my own and just lost our dog of 14 years. I'm so sorry for your loss, OP. Poor puppy. None of them have ever been allowed to roam. This is actually a high traffic neighborhood that is frequently frequented by coyotes. I'm not sure how this cat even survived. Yeah, coyotes don't go for cats. Learn that the hard way. First comment is from Beneficial Way, and it is, I'm impressed you got somebody to come out and take a statement for you and plan on follow up actions. I want badly to ask where you are because I don't know of any US location near me that would do that. It's pretty cool. Um, Moto Fail Queen says, I'm in North Carolina and animal control came out to address two dogs my neighbors let roam regularly. The next occurrence, they're going to issue fines. All I have to do is provide footage of it. These dogs have been roaming for years. I've talked to the owners several times, and it gets better for a while, but then now I have an infant. I'm done playing nice with two unleashed dogs running free. Yeah. Uh, OP says they're in the Midwest. I think it's getting better because of the cameras in that situation, because you can prove that that cat did it. Otherwise, they just have to take your word for it, and that's not always the best evidence for some people. Open-minded squirrel says, I bet the cat is also spraying inside, so they're keeping it outside. And OP says that is a possibility. Next, we have benign existence, and it is entitled, I had to confess to my husband about my fizzy water preferences. My husband went out on a limb one day and got me a brand new brand of fizzy water. I'm assuming fizzy water is like soda water, which is gross, by the way. He seemed so excited for me to try it, like adorably excited. It was expensive and not really great, but because of that excitement, I told him it was great. I really didn't want to hurt his feelings. Fast forward next week, he bought it again and said, I got you that fizzy water you love. I need to complain. I don't actually like it. Why did you tell me you liked it? Because you liked that I liked it, and I like you liking things. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. My library says this is actually so cute. 2-bit moment says we are friends with a Chinese family, and once they had us over to try 1,000-year-old eggs. My grandfather said he liked it, so the next time we met, they brought a bunch over just for him. He ended up having to explain that he had just been being polite. I wonder what 1,000-year-old eggs taste like, and also I don't know that I want to try to find out what 1,000-year-old eggs taste like. OP says, yeah, I told him he looked betrayed, but I couldn't stand a life of bad fizzy waters. I'm going to have to look up 1,000-year-old eggs, likely as bad as this bubbly water, probably worse. Tink says, sometimes I like to phrase things like, oh, wow, babe, I love those fizzy waters you got. The flavor's extra bright, but I kind of prefer the other brand a bit more. They're cheaper and the taste is not that much different. And she puts in quotes, if there's a flavor of the fancy ones I like better, I might say, except if it's the grapefruit. Always splurge for that one. I like her. She likes grapefruit. Grapefruit's one of my favorites. I'm also glad I got to try the fancy ones. Acknowledge the effort, state your preference, support your preference with the logical reason, unnecessary, but often my husband responds to practicality, but you don't need to explain your preferences and thank them for their thoughtfulness. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Or just say, I actually don't like this one. It's fine, but I don't like it that much. I like my other ones better. Just like I drink diet sweet tea. Um, and if you're thinking, oh, what's the name of it? Milo's. Milo's tea, they have a diet sweet tea. Walmart has an off-brand Milo's sweet tea. I prefer the Walmart. I prefer the Walmart brand. The Milo's is too has been brewed too long. It's been brewed too long, and it tastes too much tea, and I don't know, it's too tea. Too much tea. Oh, next we have Found Satan, and it's entitled That's Something Dr. Nefario Would Tell You to Do. Phantom says, oh, I can share this. Looks like it's a post from some social media site. I'm not sure which one. Probably. Phantom says, imagine, or Tyler says, just tired of this. It closed the window. Y'all wanging bass for 4 hours waiting down the wanging drain. Phantom managed to get tickets for Wembley, Cardiff, and Edinburgh. If you press Alt 4, it jumps you to the front of the queue. You're an idiot. Alt 4. Alt 4 probably closes everything. I'm not sure what it does. That's funny. Oh, don't trust people on the internet, you ding dongs. Valuable actuary. Yeah, there's no dates on it. Valuable actuary says if someone still falls for this in 2026, they should be banned from the internet. Catback says you can't blame Tyler. He's jacked. Not only that, but he wears the freshest clothes, eats the chillest restaurants, and hangs out with the hottest dudes. That was apparently a Jake and Amar reference. You got tricked. Next, we have Just No Mill. Mill is suing me for grandparent visitation while I'm living in a domestic violence shelter with my child. Well, good luck to grandma. Honestly, I never thought I'd be posting this, but I feel like I'm living in a nightmare and need to vent and get perspective. My mother-in-law has always presented herself as a sweet, innocent, caring mother figure. To outsiders, she's a loving mom and grandma. But behind closed doors, she's always been controlling, dismissive of boundaries, and constantly involved in things that were none of her business. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those sweet ladies, sweet, caring, innocent, nicest people you could ever know, can be very different behind doors. Very different. Things exploded after my child's father substance abuse and abuse behavior escalated. I ended up filing in family court in Queens for an order of protection and emergency custody. The court issued a full stay away temporary order of protection that covered both me and our child, including third party contact. If this was in I don't know what the rules in I don't know the rules in the UK, but if this was in the US, she would have no uh, no grounds at all. Both parents are alive. Um, he doesn't have custody, so she doesn't get to see him because he does not have visitation rights. He has a stay away order. So no, you do not get to see your grandchild just because you raised a terrible person. Why for you? Because of safety concerns, my child and I ended up moving into a domestic violence shelter where we are still living. Shortly after, despite my ongoing court situation, my ex took our child against court orders. I had to file a writ of habeas corpus to get my child back, which the court granted. Because of everything that happened, the court initiated a AC ACS investigation. Not sure what that is. At first, my ex and his family denied everything. Urine drug tests were clean. They tried to paint me as dramatic, but after a hair follicle test, it turned out he had extremely high levels of multiple drugs in his system. ACS ultimately indicated him for neglect and required him to start substance abuse and parenting programs. Good. The custody case later moved to Supreme Court through a divorce filing, and now the court is slowly giving him more parenting time as he complies with programs. Here's where mother-in-law comes in. During the early stages of the investigation and the court proceedings, I told her visits couldn't happen until safety issues were sorted out. I was living in a shelter and dealing with court and ACS investigations. My only concern was my child's safety and stability. But she sees my child regularly through her son's visitation time, okay? And now, despite everything that's happened, she's suing me for grandparent visitation rights. I don't think she'd get very far. She's already seeing the kid when the kids are with their dad. At the same time, she keeps trying to act like nothing is wrong. She calls me her daughter, tries to hug me at exchanges, brings food, acts sweet to my face, literally taking me to court behind my back. She's also told people and even ACS workers that I only wanted a green card and money and that my child wasn't safe because I didn't have any money at the time. Meanwhile, I was in a shelter because of her son's actions. It feels like constant gaslighting. She's trying to rebuild my life and protect my child. That's not gaslighting. That's not gaslighting. Gaslighting has a specific definition. Let's stop throwing it around. Not every lie is a gaslight. It's just lying. I'm exhausted. I'm trying to stay neutral for court and keep exchanges calm, but emotionally it's draining me to deal with someone pretending to be loving while actively fighting me legally. Don't even want to cut her off completely. She already sees my child during visits, but suing me for more access while I'm living in a domestic violence shelter feels incredibly cruel. I guess I just needed to vent and see if anyone here else has dealt with a mother-in-law who pays sweet publicly while undermining you behind the scenes. No, I dealt with a stepmother. Forward detention says if she's suing you, then cut off all contact and access. Well, she can't do that. She can't do that because the court is telling her she has to give the kid to the father. If the father's letting her see that, it's his right to let her do that. If you're giving her more of a reason why a judge would grant the visitation, mother-in-law needs to speak via a lawyer only and no seeing you or the kids after that. Cold Blind Spot says the mother-in-law is the court-appointed supervisor for OP's husband's access to the kids, so she gets access. Exactly. So why is she suing? I don't understand it. Shalka says she should post it in an Ask the Lawyer sub. Someone says ask the domestic violence shelter. And someone confirms that they should ask that there. There's a deleted one by moderator. Wow. This just goes all the way down. Okay. Yeah, she should definitely have a lawyer involved with that. But I don't think the mother-in-law, they're going to throw that out of court. That's silly. It's silly. Any court worth their salt will throw that out. Grandparent rights, at least in the U.S., are only if one of the parents is deceased or not available, otherwise not available, like in jail. Otherwise, that's up to the parents. And if the grandmother is seeing the kid on the dad's time, then that's when she sees the kid. And the mother can give her more time if she wants to, but she doesn't have to. Next is from Retail Hell. My boss makes me peel stickers off handmade boots and it's soul crushing. What? I work in this trendy boutique in a very wealthy part of town. We are known for a curated selection of ethical and slow fashion goods. Our bestseller is a line of leather ankle boots. They are beautiful. The owner tells every customer a detailed story about how she personally scouts for them from a small family workshop in Portugal. She talks about the artesian stitching and how the leather ages perfectly. That's got to be expensive. Customers actually eat it up. Absolutely eat it up. They feel good about spending $300. I told you they were expensive because they think they are supporting a dying craft. But I'm the one who processes the shipment every Tuesday. The boxes do not come from Portugal. They come from a giant distribution center in New Jersey. Other times they come from some African company import. Over time, we've cleared ladies' shoes from some Chinese companies too, or sourced through Alibaba. It's never from Portugal. I'm struggling to see why this was his preferred marketing technique. Wouldn't he still sell without telling people from Portugal? My boss is marking these things up. My actual job description is basically lying by omission. I have to take them out of the plastic wrappers, peel off the original sticker on the sole, and stuff them into our branded organic cotton dust bags. I watched a lady yesterday tear up because she was so happy to support ethical trade. I feel like a criminal just standing there. This seems like it should be illegal. It really seems illegal to me. You're literally stealing from people, essentially, because they think they're getting something, and that's not what they're getting. The fourth comment down is from Eric Nimblehands, and it says that is criminal fraud, possibly even false advertising. Might be worth to anonymously contact the Better Business Bureau, whatever your local version may be. Don't contact the Better Business Bureau. They're not going to do a dang thing. Contact your attorney general for your state. BPP is a marketing agency, exactly. AK J Kayak says, speaking of false marketing, BBB somehow convinced everyone they do more than marketing. Anyway, surprises me how many people think BBB can fix anything. They won't do anything. They don't do damn thing. Coconut says, I used to work in an organic lunch and juice place that charged 9 quid for a juice. We ran out of cucumbers, so we were sent to shop, bought 7 organic cucumbers to return to the shop to be told out and told to exchange them for regular. The difference came to about 70 cents. And this is why I don't go for organic stuff to begin with. They're not really any better than anything else. I get all my organics at Costco because that's all they sell. And that's okay if they want to just sell that. Next is from Petty Revenge and it is entitled My Ghoster Came Crawling Back, so I gave him a taste of his own medicine. I was fresh out of a relationship, was really hurt. So I went back to dating apps to look for a hookup to get my mind off things. Not healthy and do not recommend. I matched with this one guy, we hit it off instantly. I was honest with him about my situation and he was really understanding. He said all the right things, how he was going to be a good bounce back from my last relationship, and how he even wants something more than a hookup since we get along really well. We were talking every day for about a week, and at the weekends we hooked up. The day after everything was still going normally, after that, he stopped responding to my messages and would leave me on red. I would see when he comes online, so it made me feel disrespected. And it should. I mean, he was just looking for a good time. That's all he was doing. I sent him one message saying if he was ghosting me, he should just unmatch. Next time I came into the app, he was not there anymore. I was so sad after this, it reopened so many wounds and had the reverse adverse effect and made me think about my ex more and how I would never find a guy like my ex. Okay, girl, girl, girl. It's been a week. You really trusted somebody that you have been not even meeting, chatting with over the internet for a week. Come on. Come on, you know better. Anyway, about 3 weeks later, I see a certain like from the same dude, but on a different app. I actually saw him on another dating site as well. A week after I sent a like because I was desperate and confused, but he did not send one back, even though he viewed my profile. At this time, I was healed a little bit and no longer desperate, so I wanted to play with him a little, and I liked him back. He immediately messaged me back saying he was really sorry, blah blah blah. I know he was horny again and thought I was easy. Anyway, we started to talk again more deeply than before. I told him he would have to win back my trust. He agreed. After about a week, he would always turn the conversation sexual, so I knew he was full of it, and he would ghost me again if we slept together. I decided to give in and tell him to come over on Saturday. This was during the heaviest snow day and it was really cold outside. I told him to come to my apartment building at 1 a.m. because I didn't want my roommates to be at work. The day and time come and he texts me that he's here. After 5 minutes, he texts again. After another five, he texts again. I keep on leaving it on red since the app lets you know when someone has read your message. He tries calling on the app, but I ignore him. I see him typing and I immediately unmatch. After about 30 minutes, I look through my window and see him practically running away since it was so cold outside. I made him come at 1 a.m. because I knew no one would be coming into the apartment to let him in. He probably doesn't care. He was using me anyways, but I'm happy I stood up for myself even just a little bit. Okay, first of all, if you have been in a long-term relationship and your heart is broken, do not go looking for something else. Do not go on a dating app. Like, you can take care of yourself, if you know what I mean. Take care of yourself. And you can wallow. We've discussed that before. Alley Cat, as much as I enjoy the revenge, I'd be freaked out to do that when he knows where I live. And she says she has card access. That don't stop nobody. That don't stop nobody if they really want to get in. But I don't think he's a stalker either. Next, we have Am I the Jerk? And this is entitled AITJ for not giving my sister money after she tested me. My older sisters always joke that I'm the responsible rich one because I have a stable job and no kids. I'm not rich. I just budget and I don't impulse spend like she does. She has three kids and her finances are always chaotic. Last month, she called me crying, saying she was short on rent and needed $600 urgently. I asked a few questions. She got defensive, saying I either trust her or I don't. Why would I trust you? Why would I trust you when I know that you don't take care of your money very well? Why would I trust you? I ended up transferring the money because I didn't want my nieces to deal with eviction stress. A week later at family dinner, she casually mentioned that she actually didn't need the money for rent. She said she wanted to see if I'd step up without interrogating her, and the family should help, no questions asked. No, absolutely not. We're not here to be your doormat. Apparently, her rent was already covered, and she just wanted extra cushion for other bills. I felt completely used. I told her I won't be lending her any money unless I see actual proof of what it's for. Now my mom says I'm being cold and transactional with family. My sister said I embarrassed her by bringing it up in front of everyone. AITJ for drawing a hard line after that. Nope, absolutely not. I wouldn't trust your family either. Straight Coconut says I wouldn't give. What is with the coconuts today? Coconuts are gross, by the way. Straight Coconut says I wouldn't give her a quarter for a parking meter. The nerve of her. And then to bring it up in front of the family like she won something over you. How dare she? Actually, I like coconut if it's like real fresh coconut and not shredded. I hate the shredded coconut. Shredded coconut's the worst. Second top comment is from Sassy Peanut. Ask for the money back immediately, and now that you've passed her test, you won't ever need to lend her money again, as it will probably be another test. True. Prop State answered, getting it back would be nice. Of a bigger point, she nuked the trust for $600. That's on her, not you. Yep, 100%. People, don't spend money you don't have. Full stop. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Stop it. Stop spending money you don't have. You don't got the money, you don't spend the money. Got it? Got it? Bills first, saving second, fun stuff third. Actually, bills first, necessities second, savings third, fun stuff fourth. Entitled people, weighing your prescriptions. I need to buy milk right now. This was a weird experience I had a while ago. I was waiting in a drive-through line at the pharmacy about 2 cars deep. No problem. I'm patient. 2 cars finish up. No problem. But in the meanwhile, I see a woman walk into the parking lot. I pull up to the window, and as my car is still moving, she walks in front of my car and squeezes between my car and the pharmacy window. What the what? Who does that? Ma'am, are you okay? Because you're in the wrong spot right now. She didn't even acknowledge me or my vehicle or the fact that I could have hit her if I'd kept pulling up a few inches. I hadn't even rolled my window down yet and was just aghast and confused. The tech working the window was just as confused as I was. The woman asked, "Hi, can you just grab me some milk?" "No." And the tech told her, "No, you'll have to come in for that. This is for the pharmacy only. And for cars only." That's very dangerous, lady. It was either her first day as a human or her first day using a drive-through. So she scowled and literally stomped away like a toddler. No, she's used to getting her way. She's used to everybody kowtowing her and giving her into her. I rolled down my window and asked the tech if this happens a lot. He said, "Oh yeah, people either drive up or don't want or want me to run around the store getting other stuff for them in addition to their meds, or give me a list and expect me to fulfill it. Like, where has that ever been an option? This is not fast food." Yeah, if you want other stuff and they have and the store offers it, you can order it on the app and they'll bring it to your car. Dark Huntress says, "This right here is why when I was a pharmacy tech, I was so happy the pharmacy I worked at didn't have a drive-through." I wonder if the drive-through my niece works at has or the pharmacy my niece works at has a drive-through. It's in a Walmart. Not a lot of those have drive-throughs. I should ask her about it sometime. Skrabadlik says, "They put a drive-through at the pharmacy I work at a few years ago after we a few years after we opened. One day a couple of girls walked up to the window. They wanted Cokes. I told them we don't sell Coke. They looked at me like I was stupid. "No, want the drink Coke," I said. "Sweeties, I know what you want. If you want Coke, you can come inside the store or walk across the street to Sonic to get one there. This is a pharmacy and we aren't here to fulfill drink out orders, just prescriptions." I forgot the middle thing, but I don't think we're there yet. This is for Murder by Words. Mr. Casa done effed up. Um, so Mr. Casa, you probably won't remember me or my child when you taught in Louisville, Kentucky, '08 to 10 or 11. Since you opened up your students in such a way to a self-serving way, why don't you explain why you ended up leaving Jefferson County public school system or why you can only teach at private schools or learning centers? I'll be happy to start dumping public records. I know several families who would love to know. You're in North California now. Oh, okay. I always get these wrong way. So the original comment was about 10% of my students attended the protest this Friday. They have one kind of thing in common. They have an F in my class. And then the guy from Louisville says, why you teaching there, dude? What'd you do? What'd you do in Kentucky?" OP says, "Oh no, I don't know that." And somebody asked what he asked, what. And the answer is he's overstayed expired work because I was in the U.S. illegally. Oh. Raz Prince Monaloo says always vice signaling to avoid being deported. That's kind of funny. So he's not teaching there anymore because he might get deported. Expectation versus reality. This is where I gotta do this. I forgot something. Of course, I forgot something. Okay. So this is expectation versus reality. The phone case I ordered versus the one I got. So this little pretzel. It's cute. It's a cute little pretzel. It has a little happy face on it. It has two little happy faces on it. It's two pretzels, and they're standing on top of each other, upside down. They are Chinese gymnast pretzels. but supposedly it's a phone case. And that's what they got. I mean, it's still kind of cute. It's still kind of cute. Oh, but it doesn't fit at all. See, this is the biggest problem about it is that it doesn't fit. How do you know the other one fits? How do you know the other one's gonna fit, hon? Did you get it from Temu? Yeah, probably got what you paid for. Tindo says, haha, the back view as well. That was 100% expected, but the side view, ha. And then he just does a crying, laughing, rolling emoji. Oh, nobody realized there was a third picture. Defo Not Mario says, oh, it's a little odd, but not bad. Oh. Sock Intelligent says, how do you even consider buying this thing, OP? Obi-Wan Maloney says, the amount of people that willingly spend their hard-earned cash on pure and utter wanging shite never fails to astound me. This is why you don't order from Temu and Alibaba. I've never bought anything from either one. I might someday just to see what happens, but no. If I expect something to be nice, I'm never buying from there. All right, next we have our little spiel. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually around noon Eastern time. Today was 12:30. It's not always going to be noon. If I could get my crap together, maybe someday I'll go early. Who knows? Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email and title submission. If you would like an email link to the day's current live, send an email and title subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com. I will not use your email. My email address is also in the description. um, Next, we have our real estate segment. It is talk me out of this house. It's hard not to fall in love with it. And it is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It is $1.1 million, 7 bedrooms, 5 baths, 5,000 square feet. It's a really cute house. It is. I like it. Nice Elizabethan, I believe it's what it's called. Tudor, sorry, Tudor style. Nice Tudor style house. It's very cute. I like it. I mean, the brick you don't even have to do anything with. You just have to upkeep the eaves and the roof, of course. It's nice. This is probably the back of the chimney. So even in the winter, it would be, if your fire's going, that would still be warm right there. It's very snowy right now. That's cool. I really like that. It's awesome. Front door is cool. Ooh, that's cool. The bench is neat. Nice fireplace going. Is that real or is that an AI? I think that's an AI fire. No, I don't trust any of it. What's going on with the door? Are those weird hinges or are those holes where, I don't know. I don't have a fake fire in this fireplace. It's very lovely. Very well appointed. I would want some more furniture in it. Ooh, that is cool. That is really neat. And here we have a picture of the floor. Oh, they have more than one piano. These are some piano people. Of course, these are rich people. This house is over $1 million. They probably had somebody come in and stage it, and they have an interior decorator to begin with. Ooh, I love the door. Love the door. The arch. I like all the arches. I'm an arch person. I had a house that had an arch once between the living room and the dining room. It was like that big, actually. Like that big, but it went all the way into the living room. Very open, and yet clearly separate room. Even the dining room has a fireplace. How many fireplaces are in here? Oh, they ruined the kitchen because they made it all white. Yuck. Painted everything. Ooh, ooh. Nice stove, though. Giant refrigerator. I do like the island. That's pretty cool. I would like a sink in the island, too, though. Oh, they love the little coffee nook over here. And that would be a good place for a microwave if you wanted. Very old-timey high chair there. Not safe. Not safe for modern children. This is the breakfast nook. Nothing in it. Got a little table and chairs. Is that another fireplace, or is that the same fireplace? I am not sure. I bet you this was built back when you had to have a fireplace in every room. Another fireplace. This is a bedroom. This might be the master suite, actually. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no, it is. The sitting room in the master suite is where the fireplace is. Another bedroom. It's one of those. I've only ever seen the up high on the wall air conditioner in hotel rooms. So it's kind of strange. Or foreign. I've seen them in like Russian houses. Yes, I've seen Russian houses. I don't care for that at all. I don't care for that tile. I don't care for the sink and or the vanity. Not even sure I care for that toilet. That's gonna have to be all redone. Holy schmoly. I thought I didn't have room. Good thing it's a front opener because I would never be able to get to it. Why we got two different size beds here? That's weird. Are they even two different sizes, or is that just the angle? Okay, still can't tell. They match, but I'm not convinced they're the same size. So the bathroom very yellow. We changed our yellow bathroom. It's not purple. It's a lilac. Couldn't get the kids to agree. Here's the baby's room. The very old-fashioned looking crib. Probably not safe for the modern child. They have an actual baby scale in this room. Like, what the heck? Who has a baby scale in their house? That's weird. Your baby ain't going to be using that very long. You do not need one. Has its own bathroom, too. And its own sitting room, looks like. There's another sitting room upstairs. Used to be the attic. Guarantee you this was either the attic or the servants' quarters. Based on the angle of the walls. They're using it as another bedroom. It's a very plain bed. This must be for Kevin. This must be for Kevin during Christmas when everybody's at the house. There's I do like the house. I have no problems with the house itself. Why are we in a whole other what the heck? We're back inside again? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Well, it's that guitar, is that a ukulele, or what is that? Is that a guitar, or is that a ukulele? I don't know. And another piano-ish thing. Or is this another house? I'm confused. This is another kitchen in the I'm so confused. This is like I'm confused. This is like a whole other house. Where is this? How does this exist? I don't even tell you. I'm so confused. There is a little, like, I thought it was a garage behind it. Apparently not. Apparently it's a whole other house. Built in 1889. Yeah, you're gonna need your fireplaces, people. A 1 acre lot. And it's in town. I mean, there's clearly neighbors and stuff around. The James Rose House in School Lane Hills. Um, it was in the 1891 publication Artwork of Lancaster, and more recently in the C.L. Emblin Urban Book. Set on the expansive 1 acre. 1 acre is like my bare minimum anymore. I'm sorry, I'm not a city person. I like my room. Magnificent all brick manor, 5,000 square feet of living space with 7 bathrooms and 4.5 baths. Didn't I say it was 5? I think that's the main house. The main home, see, I told you, has 3 beautifully finished levels and showcases 5 fireplaces, 2 staircases. Dramatic stone fireplace with elegant sight lines in the sunroom, living room, music room, and formal dining room. New marble fireplace with surround accented with hand cast tiles. Walk-in butler's pantry. The butler's pantry was very nice. I'll admit that. The second floor is 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, including a serene primary suite with a sitting area, fireplace, a convenient laundry room. So the laundry's upstairs, which is nice. If all the bedrooms are upstairs. Um, Detached carriage house adds exceptional flexibility with 2 bedrooms and 1,200 square feet of additional living space. Located near Lancaster Country Day School and Franklin and Marshall College. Floor plan is under the document setting section, wherever that is. Forced air, heat pump, natural gas, propane, and electric. Don't like the propane idea. Do they not have natural gas available up there? Total of 6 parking spaces. That's huge. 3 garage and 3 garage and 3 uncovered. You didn't even need that 1 acre for all those cars. What else? I don't even know where these documents places are. Property taxes are $2,100 a year. Or wait, no, $21,000 a year. Sorry, $21,000 a year for this house. I don't see any documents there out of their free mind. Okay, that's about that for that. It is nice. It is a nice little house. I like it. Western Wing says the proportions of the rooms, the windows, and furniture all go so well together. Somebody really thought this through, not to mention the craftsmanship involved. A Holiness says the designs were done by someone who knew classical architecture. Their proportions are based on the human scale. Ancient architects knew this and used it in their columns and buildings for thousands of years. Basically, all the moldings and windows and doors are relate to each other and change depending on the size of the room. These design principles are everywhere from this time period, but disappeared after industrialization and suburbs started popping up everywhere. Jones Kelly says, I think about this all the time. The scale is always wrong on McMansions, and they can't seem to frame a window anymore. That is, that's always bugged me about that. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Interesting AF, a cremation funeral held for a tiger named Collarwally, who had given birth to 29 cubs throughout their life in 8 litters. She lived in the Pench Tiger Reserve and died at the age of 16. And so it's sad, so be warned. She's on her pyre with her little flowers and stuff. Goodbye, Tiger. Get it. You did good. You did good, Tiger. Guilty One's top rated comment says RIP, darling. Pizzle Puller of Kberg says, rest in peace, sweet mama. OP says she's often regarded as super mom. She's a good mommy. Good mommy tiger, apparently. Also fertile. People are not, some people and some tigers are not that fertile. It's okay, it's just a difference. And next is Am I the A-hole? AITA for asking my friend to pay me back for the wine he drank while house sitting. I don't know. Did you offer him the wine before you left? Was it like super expensive and should have been locked up somewhere? I don't drink wine, so it wouldn't bother me. You know, all my wine. Spy 26 female had a friend, 27 male, watch my place and my cat over the weekend. I told him he could help himself to whatever in the kitchen, which I thought was just like common sense for snacks and stuff. When I get back, I realized he opened this $120 bottle of vintage Barolo I was saving for my promotion. He literally drank the whole thing alone while watching Netflix. You offered him anything he wanted, ma'am. When I asked about it, he got all weird and said I gave him permission because the wine was in the kitchen. Like, okay, but who drinks a $100 bottle of wine without asking first? Did he know how much it was? Did he have any idea how much it was? Because I wouldn't. I sent him a Venmo for $80, gave him a discount. Now he's calling me tacky and told our group chat that I'm a bad host. I feel like there's literally an unwritten rule of guest logic where you don't touch the most expensive thing in the house. If I tell you to help yourself to my garage, it doesn't mean you can drive off in my car. Okay, now you're not even making sense, girl. IDK, am I the a-hole here? He's making me feel like I'm being extra, but I feel like he totally took advantage of me. IDK, it's also just it's $120. It's not like it was $1,000 bottle of wine, honey. You can go back out. You're getting if you're getting a promotion, you can go buy the $120 wine. And it is flared that she is the a-hole because she is. Because if she didn't want him to drink it, she should have put it in a safe place. Nope, says you told him to help himself to whatever he did. Most people can't distinguish between a $15 and a $120 bottle of wine. And most people aren't going to read a receipt you left lying around either. YTA, this one's on you. And Dragonfly answers, further to this, unless OP told the friend that the bottle of wine was for, then the friend was most likely assumed OP was providing him a lovely vino to chill with whilst looking after her cats. Does the OP think the friend instinctively knows what the specific bottle of wine was targeted for? Yes, exactly. How would he know? uh, that broman answers that one with, yeah, this reads a bit paranoid and or victim mentality, like the friend was acting with malice trying to get one over on her for asking him to feed the cat. Adventurous Brain says, I'm a wine drinker and I can't tell the bottle from the bottle whether it's a $25 bottle or a $300 bottle. Somebody got to delete a comment and I don't know why. Third top rated comment, even though the top rated one's deleted. I don't know why. YTA, you should just chalk this up to miscommunication. You said yourself to anything in the kitchen. If you had told him prior, except for that bottle of wine I'm saving for my promotion, you could ask for full compensation. This is on you. Swallow your ego and let this go. It'll be better for the friendship. Yep, that's on you. Should have either been more communicative, more clear, or hid your bottle of wine, precious bottle of $120 wine that you don't really need anyway, because alcohol's bad for you. Next, we have from Overheard, lovely couple on the plane. I was chatting with a couple, 70s, in front of me about football, and they were as we were deplaning. After I sat down, she said to him, "Make sure you have everything." He gently grabbed her arm and said, "I do." She gave him the sweetest smile and a chuckle. Aw, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Yes, we could take a lesson. I made sure he had his wallet and his phone as he walked out the door today. Okay, next one is flared as not safe for work, so be warned. Is from True Off My Chest, and it's entitled "I traveled 7,000 kilometers to meet a webcam girl. It turned out to be one of the most uncomfortable nights of my life." And why shouldn't it be? Oh, this is a follow up to something I shared earlier. I'm 29, she's 23. For a few months, I had a really intense and honestly pretty strange connection with a girl from Colombia I met online. We started talking in October of 2025. So, not really all that long ago, dude. Um, and even though we both knew it was kind of crazy, we talked every day or for more than 4 months. Sometimes we had 4 to 5 hour calls. There was a lot of emotional closeness and even some jealousy on her saying she said, "I want you to be mine or I want you just for myself." And you can get to know somebody and actually it's not a bad idea to get to know somebody through phone calls. You're avoiding all the sexual tension you have in person, as long as you're both being honest, which sometimes doesn't work. But then you go and you meet in a mutual place and see how the chemistry is and see if you can trust that person in uh in real life. I have a little friend, well, little meaning young, not that she's little. She just got married to a guy that she's been had not met in real life until recently. They've been chatting over the phone for years, like several years, every day, practically all day. Like he watches her sleep. He watched her sleep. It's really weird. I'm like, that would creep me out. No, I'm getting off the phone before I go to bed. Sorry. But they just got married. I don't know what they're planning on doing now. I'm happy for her because I know she really, really liked this guy. So I am happy for her, and he seems like a nice guy. Deep down, I knew I was putting a lot of time and emotional energy into someone who lived 7,000 kilometers away, who I'd never meet in real life. You never know. At some point, the uncertainty started to overwhelm me, so I decided to buy a ticket and see what would happen. Honestly, I couldn't detach from her, and she couldn't detach from me either. I arrived in Medellin a few days days ago, and right away I sensed something was off. She started replying less, being colder, and showing much less interest. Still, we agreed to meet. I told her I was traveling to see her, and we planned to go out to dinner. At 8 p.m., I called the Uber, picked her up, and we went to a restaurant I chose based on recommendations. I was pretty nervous, so I had a shot of whiskey beforehand to calm down. Dumb idea. That's not calming you down. That's making you drunk. Stop it. I greeted her with a kiss on the cheek, which is normal for where I'm from. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, jeez. Um, when I saw her, my first thought was, "Wow, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen." Throughout the night, kept tried to keep things light with humor and good vibes, not pushing anything. In the Uber, I tried to hold her hand casually to create some closeness. It felt like shaking hands with a corpse. There was zero response. She was completely stiff. This was my first clear, okay, something's wrong moment. At dinner, we talked and laughed a little, but I quickly noticed she barely asked me anything and didn't seem genuinely interested in me at all. At one point, our faces were close and I tried to give her a small, subtle kiss. She pulled away and told me to calm down. After that, the distance just became more obvious. On top of that, she started complaining about the food with a disgusting face. I paid him and left, not wanting to end the night there. I suggested we go to a nice bar nearby. We stayed for about an hour and a half and it felt a bit more bearable even the waitress told us we were a cute couple. But honestly, I felt like I was forcing the whole situation. When we left wi- when we left without me even asking, she said she was going home to sleep. That already felt pretty bad. We waited for her Uber, and before she left, I tried to kiss her again. This time she pushed my face away with a pretty ugly, almost contemptuous expression. I pretended nothing happened. She left and told me to take care of in that area, and I was left alone in Medellin at dawn, feeling like the biggest idiot of my life. Did she know you were coming? Because that would be a big turnoff for me. You just showed up out of the blue one day. Just to be clear, she had seen me many times in photos. I took the same in real life. I was well dressed, and in a good mood, and genuinely trying to make a nice night. I invited her to nice places, paid for dinner, drinks, and the Ubers. She didn't thank me for anything and didn't suggest any plans, nothing. All of this happened less than 24 hours ago, and I can't stop thinking about it. I feel like I wasted time, money, and a chunk of my dignity. I've never felt such clear disinterest from someone. I honestly don't understand why she stayed out so long if she clearly didn't want anything. I feel useless, used, ridiculous, and pretty vulnerable. Probably a small price to pay to learn your lesson. To make it worse, on the way back to my apartment, I sent her a few messages. She replied to some, but she didn't answer my last one. I knew coming here was a risk, but I didn't expect to feel this humiliating. The only good part is I genuinely love this city and I still have a few more days here, but yeah, this whole situation has been pretty surreal. Any advice would be greatly appreciated right now. Update. Yes, folks, she asked me to visit her over a month straight and it was telling me I was taking too long, etc. Everything was agreed upon in some way. I wasn't planning on going if it weren't for the fact that she insisted so much. In fact, I often thought about not going and ending it. Update 2, we're both single, according to her. How do you know? Edit 3, after 24 difficult hours, I decided to take action and met a new girl in a very casual way. She turned out to be super friendly, polite, grateful, took me to see beautiful places in the city, and we ate typical foods. Everything was natural and intimate, with great, genuine interest from both of us and good conversation. Life is extremely curious. This may not mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but since many people encourage me to make the most of these days and turn the page, I'm glad I followed that advice and had some great experiences that helped me forget and move on, which is useful in all areas of life. So honestly, I'm still confused, but you never know where life will take you. Don't let discouragement get the better of you. Exactly. Edit 4. Last night, this first girl, she wrote to me thanking me and saying she had a great time. It all led to a very honest conversation on my part, audio recordings of her crying and saying she cares about me, and a 3 to 4 hour WhatsApp conversation. After I said that we shouldn't talk anymore and that no possible scenario was favorable. She insisted that she was interested in me, but I told her to get her emotions in order because I could accept not having sex, but the contempt she showed by not wanting to give me a simple kiss was very obvious. I told her that I would never hold a grudge against her. I wished her the best and I stood my ground. Good. I was really honest and she wanted to see if we could give it a second chance, keep talking, etc. But it was all very strange, especially since this happened 3 days after we saw each other. She asked me if we could see each other if she came to my country. My conclusion is that it has been emotional BS, and talking to her in this conversation only brought me bad feelings where I relived how stupid I felt. It was a definitive goodbye for me, even though I told her how ridiculously beautiful she was. And then, I mean, we know what the comment said, so. Next is from What Do I Do? And it is entitled Update. Uh-oh. We're gonna have to go find the original. Hold on. I always have to find the original. Oh, we already read the original. Well, that worked out well. I don't know when we read it. Oh, maybe we haven't read it. Hold on. Let me go check something. Shoot, sit room. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Hmm. Okay, we're gonna find another one to do because this is one is going to be we're gonna read the other one later. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna do this one instead. There were actually 3 of those for this month, so it's very popular. But we're gonna do it all at once. Okay, this is from What Do I Do? It's entitled What Do I Do? My boss found my anti-work comic. I will show you the comic. It's actually very well drawn. It says, so we're in agreement there's a serious workplace culture issue in this company. And the the girl says, actually, it's more of a you're really bad at your job issue. And the guy says, toxic judgmentalism. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually funny. It's actually funny. I have an HR meeting at 2 p.m. I just got back from unpaid leave. Had this at my desk and was like there it was only like 4 by 4 where I could see it. I get back and it's gone. No, that's a big mistake. You shouldn't leave stuff like that out. My boss emailed me yesterday afternoon. I was not there saying we have an HR meeting today. Please tell me what I should do. Choreographed says, what kind of prison do you work in where you get reprimanded for simply possessing some lame boomer slop comic? Yeah. Somebody pointed out there's a watermark on it, so sorry I was reading this. Why did your boss go through your desk while you was at work? That's weird. Opie says that is weird. And Tiger by Tiger says you should bring that up as much as possible, like continue to raise this issue, turning their meeting into yours. And somebody says there's no inherent right to privacy in the workplace. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't be going through other people's desks. Right, Codex says I'm going to get downvoted into underwater cave for saying this, but the company desk is company property, not employer property. They're free to examine the contents if they want to or need to. I think they need a reason, though. I mean, that's just reasonable expectation of privacy. I wonder what happened because she didn't put an update. No update. It's been a whole month. Why is there not an update? OP, come on. You're leaving us hanging here. It's weird. Mildly is entitled New Yorkers Are Furious as Melting Snowbank Exposed Streets to Littered with Poop. What did you guys think was going to happen? I mean, it's winter. People ain't out there to clean up after themselves. There's a like warning. Matter of fact, before I do this, if you're sensitive, you may not want to look at that. You may not want to look at that. I think I might have deleted something, so I want to make sure I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, cool. We're all good.
Yo, look at this. This is apocalyptic shit. Literally apocalyptic shit. Yo, if you have a dog in New York City and you don't
That is pretty
pick up
gross.
your dog's dung, I say other New Yorkers have the right to pick it up for you and throw it at them. Clean your dog shit up.
Even in
You
the
filthy
winter.
animals. And yeah, somehow, some way, this is Mundum-Dum's fault.
He's blaming that on Trump. That's funny. Unless he's talking about Mamdani, who wasn't even who just got into office in January. Top comment is from the third. This reminds me of Bony McBoat face. It's so much easier to pick up crap with the snow on the ground. Laziness. Rocker says, right, it's practically flash frozen, smells less too. Yeah. It's easier than picking up fresh crap. Oh, they can do TNA tests on dog poop now and find out who doesn't pick up after their animals. Jordan for Days says, I'm discovering this in my apartment complex currently. Edit. I should have said around my my complex, considering melting snow is a key part of this issue. I would assume folks could try to figure that out on my own. I was wrong. Really? I could figure that out. Total Piano has nailed it. They say people are wanging lazy. All right. Enough said. Next is from Am I Overreacting and is entitled AIO upset because my grandma is mad I didn't go to classes because I have the flu. Started classes this week and yesterday came down with an awful flu. The kind where your body hurts so bad it's hard to move, even your skin hurts to the touch. Feeling slightly better today, but I still have a fever, dizziness, cough, headache. Grandma's helped me return to school and I told her that I wasn't feeling much better. One of the classes is Zoom, which I did attend, but the other two I couldn't. She says she's upset and disappointed that I'm not sure what to do. I can't go to class and give everyone this awful flu. Please do not. Also, the last time I was sick was during Christmas when my entire family ended up sick. Before that, I think I was sick maybe around March 2025. I really don't get sick that much. I'm overreacting and being upset by being angry about this. No. When you're sick, you're sick. People need to start understanding that. It's super annoying. And you tend to push yourself. I know people need to back off. Grandma. Physically, I feel a bit better, but I have 102.5 fever. Like another half a degree fever, and she needed to go to the ER. But I can't move today. Apparently, a bad flu variant is going around here. I also am not a gambler. I've never been here. I wonder what the earlier one said. I'm disappointed. You are already missing class already, and we will need to rethink this. You are sick really a lot. She's not that sick. I was sick 5 times last year. I do not want to hear her, Grandma. Do not want to hear. Why do people think that you should go and be around other people when you're sick like this? It's stupid. I hate it. McGillicuddy, spelled with a 1. I love it, by the way. Not overreacting. This is just how old folks are. My parents wouldn't miss work for anything. Both sick with the flu and still working. And then a week and a half, the staff is out sick. A week later, the half the staff is out sick. Makes no sense. If you're running a fever, please stay home. 120%. Thank you. Panda Amoeba says, my grandmother was very proud that she didn't miss a single day of work in her 30 or so, I think, years at the place she retired from. Her thank you gift from the company was a branded windbreaker and a cheap plaque when she retired. So nothing for coming in every day. Dan Keel says, no, you shouldn't go because you shouldn't go. Grandmother's overreacting here. You could kill somebody because the flu is really bad for some people. You don't know if you have somebody in that class that has an system problem or is in cancer treatments or any other number or has lung issues or any other number of things, has kids, has immune compromised kids, immune compromised spouse or significant other. You don't know. Rusty and Stardusty says, exactly. I'm a college professor and I don't want you in my class with the flu. I had to go to class with the flu. I was forced by the professor to go to class with the flu once. That was not good. She did send me home because we were told if we did not show up for class, we would lose half of our grade. I couldn't afford to lose half my grade. So I showed up for class and she sent me home because I was really sick. Like, it was stupid. Like, I can decide when I'm sick and when I need to stay home. And it's college. It's college. We need to learn how to control our own selves. Our grade should not be diminished because we miss class. That's teaching us like middle schoolers. No. Grow up, teacher. By the way, I like Dan Keel. He's got it going on. Mad Sock Poppet says, don't take it to heart. A lot of old people just like to pass their generational trauma of being treated with no compassion. That is true too. KTB says, my father made me work my high school job with mono because ethics. Honestly, nothing wrong with having a work ethic, but not at the sacrifice of your health. Exactly. Next, we have confession, and it is entitled, I stole all the cash my grandpa had in his wallet and in his room after he passed away. Yeah. I mean, it's not his name. I feel torn. On the one hand, I don't think this is a big deal. And on the other hand, he probably shouldn't have done it anyway. When I was 17, my grandpa died. My mom had just moved 18 hours away from me. I had no family anywhere near me. I was struggling to put gas in my car to get back and forth to work and school. After grandpa passed away and I went to his house to get things in order, I realized he had cash in his wallet and in a dresser drawer in his room. I knew that money was going to get taken by my mom and was just going to blow it, so I took all of it. A little over $1,000 is what I used to pay for my first and last month's apartment with. I feel like I did something good with it. That money gave me a kick I needed to get somewhere in my life. But now, nearly 15 years later, I still feel guilty for stealing that money. Don't. No, your mother abandoned you. No. No, you're fine. She did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. Her mother abandoned her at 17. Who does that? What kind of parent does that? Happy Operation says, my advice is pay it forward when you can. Yep. Valentrace says, this is the quietest, most graceful way to say you already know what you need to do. No judgment, just direction. Apparently that was a chat GPT. I don't care. No idea. You were essentially a minor on your own. Yeah, I'd have taken it too. Your mom just left you with everything. Someone deleted an answer. Probably a bot. BMD says, I hate how many bots there are, and apparently how many people can't see it because the bots have thousands of upvotes. Yeah, I can't see how grandfather, if he was a decent person, would complain about that. Okay, this is from Best of Redditor Updates. It was initially in Our Adultery. which I didn't know was a thing. Um, okay. Original post, July 8th, 2022. Came home and SO is gone. Longtime lurker and occasional commenter of this great sub, but using a thorough way because my paranoia is at an all-time high right now. Well, maybe because you're visiting the sub r/adultery. Ever think about that? I come home from work yesterday, and usually my wife gets home about 30 minutes after I do. When I realized it's getting late, I called and got no answer. I would be worried at that point. I check our room. Her things are gone. Oh, that's not good. She left the house completely untouched. I just took all of her clothes and left no note. I can't get in touch with her through phone, email. Her friends won't answer. She must know, right? Why wouldn't she ask me? Who finds out and just leaves? Oh. Oh. Who finds out and just leaves? Everybody. Everybody with an ounce of sense. Is it possible she doesn't know and left for someone else? Deleted user said, "Let her go. You are wanged. She will contact you with your next instructions. Likely be served soon." Her lawyer's going to contact you. OOP replied, "Didn't she technically abandon the home? How can she serve me?" Dude, you're an idiot. At 10:56 p.m., around 9 hours later, OOP came back and made a post that was removed by the moderator. So she's a wanging sociopath. She's known for months. She slept with me and smiled in my wanging face for months. Be careful. Comment from a deleted user. She knows for sure. OOP replied, I know, I know now she knows. She has known for months. She has been more deceitful about knowing than I have been about doing it. Yeah, okay. That made me why I'm so wanging angry. I, I can't even have an interest in my affair partner now, Wang. Oh, what a moron. Another user told OOP to own their actions. OOP replied, I am taking ownership, but I'm posting on a sub for adultery. Not like I'm claiming it was okay for me to cheat. You just basically said it was. I just happen to think cheating isn't the only crappy thing you can do to someone. OOP continued to spiral. July 8th at 11:43. When was the first one? Okay. First one was at 2. This is at 11, almost midnight. Where did he go? Okay. OOP replied, I'm taking ownership. Oh, no, sorry. This is not what I want. How do I not go through this? I don't know. Maybe don't cheat. I wouldn't have done it if I thought she'd find out. Sorry, I'm just desperate. I need to fix it because Wang, I need to know how she even found out. A deleted user responded to this. Okay, what do you think would happen if she found out? You were disappointed that she didn't scream and cry and play a pick me game? She found out and decided it was a deal breaker on her end. You got off easy. No arguing, screaming, or crying. No therapy or marriage counseling to sit there and pay for. Probably took those months to stash some cash, find a place, or another guy. Don't think there's any fixing this. OOP replied, maybe a little. Don't know why it felt that way, but yeah, I guess I just wanted to see some kind of reaction. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's how I feel. Oh, way, poor you. She makes most of the money, so that's another winging kick in the butt. I love it. She makes more money too. Oh, what a cuck. Oh, basically, I have to ask her for some kind of support to keep living the lifestyle we've been living. No, you're not getting that. You cheated. You're not getting anything, dude. I wish she would fight me. It seems like she's willing to let everything go, including her own money, just to avoid me and make me feel like I don't know her. July 9th, the next day, OOP provided more details. I did have a great OPSEC. I don't know what that means. I found out what happened from her mom. One of my wife's interns works a second job at the hotel where a affair partner and I met. 3 towns away. My wife had a picture of us on her phone, so she recognized me. After that, I guess she called my wife, and we were next time we were there, and my wife stopped in to confirm and then left. What's getting to me is that this was in March, and I never saw any changes in her. Edit. I guess after writing my OPSEC wasn't great. Shouldn't have stayed in the same place more than once. A few more posts from OOP. Update. I had no idea this was get so much input, but it's helped and I appreciate it. I've been here a while, but this is my first time posting and it has helped me vent and process. So thank you. Also, if I'm being honest, I'm sure that the attention or engagement has helped me cope a little. Get your attention, whore. Finally talked to my wife this afternoon. I've been in our house since Thursday night by myself, pretty much clueless as to what was going on until her mother, who she has very little contact with, reached out to me. I was caught and I have been since March. My wife texted me today saying she had intended to contact me through a lawyer and just let the divorce do the talking, but since her mother decided to contact me, she would answer any questions I had if I had a desire to speak to her. Clearly, I did. I asked her why she stayed around after she knew and how she just lied to me like that. She said it wasn't her intention, but she shut down to figure out what she needed to do regarding our relationship and herself. At the end, she said something like she realized she still loves me, but she doesn't respect me, and said she thinks that I love her but don't respect her either. So we should go our separate ways. She already got her job to move her to the city she's been asking me to move for a long, long time now. And she said she'd like to sell me her half of the house if I want it. If not, we can list it. Yes, our lawyers will handle the paperwork, and I still have no idea if I want our house without her in it. I'm glad I talked to her, but I'm sad now at how moved on she is. She did cry a little, but not then stopped. I asked for therapy, and she said I should have asked for that when I realized I had impulse control issues. I've been drinking for 24 hours now. Sorry for the rant. I don't think it's losing her that's hurting, but losing like this. Idiot. OOP replied to a now deleted post. I don't know for a fact that she wasn't cheating. I had no reason to think she was, but until she found out the most unlikely way, she had no reason to think I was either. You're an idiot. A deleted user said, I'm truly sorry for all involved in this, but I just have to say she made a badass exit. That sounds so awesome. It sounds like some Beyonce crap. OOP replied, okay, I could understand her leaving, but her leaving without a word is almost not human. No, it's not. That's how it works, dude. Nothing badass about it. Is not who she is either. She's sweet, and that's why I love her. You don't love her enough not to cheat on her. Her being cold like this is not going to make me want or respect her more. What a ding dong. Oh, this guy is just such a ding dong. Not that useful a person says, OP sounds like a cartoon villain. How can people do the mental gymnastics to make a victim into a problem that is beyond me? Foxy Sly Old Stody Fox says, it's pretty easy because he's got two choices. The first one is to face up to the fact that he's blown everything. It's all his own fault. He's a bad person and deserves zero sympathy. Oh, and everyone will know about this beyond a doubt. Second option is that he's the real victim and deserves sentence for the second option, but the first option is wildly uncomfortable to face up to. Plus, he's so used to lies and deception that the only person remaining that he hasn't lied to is himself. Actually, he is lying to himself. Practical Reversal says, "Oh, he's lying to himself this whole time. This whole post is a lie to himself." Second top rated comment is from Up Down Clown. Says, "Oh, he calls his wife the sociopath for knowing about the affair and hiding it while he was doing the exact same thing." Lighthouse on Mars answers, "LOL, how dare she take her time and process what was happening and move on." Oh, Barely We says the cognitive dissonance is so wanging astounding. It's not like there's levels here. He did one of the worst things a person can do to someone else that they claim to love and got pissed when she kept the knowledge to herself until she figured out her options. And she quoted I wouldn't have done it if I thought she would find out. But laughing, LMA, oh. God, I love posts like these Wang cheaters. Edit, thanks for the awards, although your money could be better spent just sending me to me directly. She got 8 awards. Minute Eye says they expect to be consulted about the divorce because decision without their spouses have consent. Oh, that was great. That's a great one. Holy cow, what is wrong with people? This is from Made Me Smile, and it is entitled My girlfriend and I work time full-time jobs opposite hours of each other. We surprised her at work with spaghetti for Valentine's. Because this is about Valentine's. You know, you got to go to Valentine's. Got big red pop in wine glasses. Spaghetti, meatballs, garlic bread, all the things you need. Need a salad. Needs a salad. Need some veggies in there. Everybody's happy. Happy Valentine's Day. That's nice. All right, that's all I got for today. I hope everybody has a good day. I will be back tomorrow, maybe oh, in 2 whole hours. Oh my goodness. I got to go do some stuff. I got to go do stuff because I did not do stuff earlier and I should have. So, have a good evening. I will see you tomorrow. Love you all. Love you all, the biddies. Bye. Bye bye.